Hey guys, what's up? So I am back with the review of another book, and this time this book is related to the elections, 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Name of the book is 2019: The Election Story, written by Mr. Praveen Patel. In my mind, he is one of the best psephologists of India. His predictions have hardly gone wrong. I can remember only one or two elections in which his prediction has gone wrong. One of them was the Chhattisgarh election of 2018, December 2018. I am following this guy for the last 5 6 years on Twitter. You can search him with the handle uh, at the rate 5 numeric 5 43 FORTY, and then again numeric 3 543. You can go there and you can see uh, what what a gem this person is. He was one of the only pollster who predicted that BJP will get 300 seats in UP 2017 polls, assembly polls, and that's what happened. You can go to Twitter and you can see his tweet of that time, February 2017. In February 2017, almost 1 month before the results, he predicted that BJP will get 300 seats, almost 300 seats, or more than 300 seats, and that's what BJP got. And for the 2019 elections, this guy, this genius, predicted that NDA will get close to 28 crore votes, and that's what happened. NDA got almost 28 crore votes, 27 crore something. That was the exact thing. I don't know the exact figure, but that tells you means how much competent this person is, and he should be taken seriously. But the unfortunate part is these sort of people are not encouraged. This man couldn't find a publisher for his book. He has published this book on his own. खुद से publish किया है इन्होंने ये book. Just see means इंडिया में टैलेंट की बिल्कुल भी कदर नहीं है. You won't find this guy being invited by various TV channels, news channels. There are all kinds of incompetent pollsters whose most of the predictions have gone wrong, but still you will find them on all the prime time news channels. But this, you won't find this guy. There's not no mention of it. कोई क्रेडिट नहीं दिया जाता इनको for correctly predicting so many elections. That's the unfortunate part. तो जैसा मैंने आपको बताया अभी तक, this is a self published book. The cost of the book is what's written over here is 799, but I got it from Flipkart for I think 570 or 580. Yeah, something like that. I got a discount. So let's get to the contents of the book. This book has 13 chapters. Yeah, 13 chapters, and I think this book is a must read. And at the start, let me tell you that this person has got, if you talk about the ideology, there are a lot of pollsters who belong to the leftist ideology. There is hardly any pollster which is neutral, and this guy is also not neutral. Let me tell you, his ideology also looks to be pro BJP or pro Modi, you can say, right of center ideology. So it means just want to tell you this fact right at the start, so that you guys uh, should be aware about what type of person I'm talking about. So he is pro BJP, pro Modi, but when it comes to psephology, when it comes to predicting the elections, he doesn't let his bias come in between that. If he sees that the BJP is winning, he will say. If he sees that the BJP is losing, he will say. Most of the times he is correct. Sometimes he goes wrong also, like he went wrong in Chhattisgarh. That's the only election where I correctly remember where he got horribly wrong. He was predicting a BJP sweep, but BJP lost very badly in the Chhattisgarh assembly elections of 2018. Okay, so yes, let's start, and let me tell you a few details about what this book is all about and what each chapter tells. So the first chapter is Idea of Bharat. In this chapter, he gives a very interesting example of Tata Nano and Reliance Jio. As per him, when Ratan Tata announced that he will be making a Tata Nano, he says that he was in a way insulting a common Indian. He was means any self-respecting Indian won't have bought the Tata Nano, and that's why this project failed. That's why the Tata Nano right now it's out of the market. And the same way he says, in the same breath he says that Reliance Jio empowered the Indians. That's why Reliance Jio has become such a big hit in 3 or 4 years whenever it was launched. So it has become such a big success. It has captured almost all the market. It is one of the top, one of the 3 players that are that have stayed in the telecom market. बाकी सब तो निकल गए. They have shut down their shops and they have gone. They could not sustain. Okay, so this is a very interesting example. And after that he talks about कि कैसे जितने भी ये पावर कॉरिडोर्स में जो लोग घूमते थे, all these people who had very privileged access in the power corridors, who used to get all sorts of information before that information came to the common public. Those people had the information. वो journalists, those lobbyists, I won't name anybody. So all those people, they have lost that access. The death of information merchants, that is one of the subheading of in chapter 1. So that's also a very interesting read. And then he comes to the electoral algorithms for Indian politics. In that he talks about how, in that he gives one example that how he predicted that NDA will get around about 28 crore votes, and that's what NDA got. In fact, he gives the figures that their models, the 543 data lab models predicted 27.69 crore votes for NDA, and the actual result was NDA got 27.52 crore votes. That was the level of accuracy. That's absolutely amazing. Then he talks about the farmers of Uttar Pradesh. They were the swing factors of 2019 elections. 72 lakh farmers got that 2000 rupee direct benefit transfer as that Kisan Samman Yojana that Modi started, and that really helped them, and that really helped BJP in the 2019 elections. Then he talks about the induced late churning of Punjab. Here he mentions that BJP or NDA was nowhere in the race in Punjab, but then just few days before the elections things started turning around, and he explains that in great detail why that happened, how that happened. He mentions how Sunny Deol, what part Sunny Deol played, so all these things. So you, that's a very interesting read. मैं सब कुछ बता दूंगा तो you will lose the interest in reading the book. So yeah, that's what. Then he says about the mouthwash model of engineering. He also mentions that how Govindacharya played a pivotal role in this whole in building that anti-corruption movement, and how means Govindacharya along with Baba Ramdev and then Anna Hazare and all these people joined and created that anti-corruption movement, which became so big that it made UPA very, very unpopular, and eventually they lost the 2014 elections. So that is also a very interesting read. And yeah, I'm skipping some parts. And then he talks about he says that there are there are in fact 3 kind of voters: engaged voters, core voters, and swing voters. And he says that it is the swing voter that plays the biggest part, that decides which party will win and which party will lose. So swing voter is the main voter, means that is the voter that decides the elections. Okay, so he also says that the two main factors which have played a pivotal role in all the previous elections before the 2019 elections, they were the Mahಂगाई and the Bhrashtachar. He says that these 2 factors were absolutely missing in the 2019 polls. In 2019 polls, these were non-issues. Means लोगों के लिए issue ही नहीं था, ना महंगाई ना भ्रष्टाचार. महंगाई is inflation and Bhrashtachar is corruption. These 2 were not the issues on which the Indian voter voted during the 2019 polls. So this happens, and then he says that He talks about the Congress decline, or the Congress party has been declining. It has been a secular decline since 1989. And then he talks about the two states which determined the fate of 2019. One was Uttar Pradesh and the other was Bengal. And then he goes and explains that in greater detail. One interesting term that he uses is USHV. He uses this term a lot. USHV is United Spectrum of Hindu Votes. Very interesting term. You must read it. When you will buy the book, you should read it. Surrender of choice. Yeah, that is the that is the name of the next chapter. Not exactly this name, but yeah, the surrender of choice. He uses it in chapter 3, and then in chapter 4 he talks about a withdrawn Muslim voter and the altered dynamic of Indian democracy. He says in this chapter, he says that the Muslim voter got very disinterested in the 2019 polls. Muslim voter was confused, as well as it was double-minded. Should they vote for Congress because it was a national party, or should they vote for the regional parties like in Uttar Pradesh, should they vote for Samajwadi Party or the Bahujan Samajwadi Party, or in Bengal should they vote for TMC, or in Telangana should they vote for the Telangana Rashtriya Samiti. So yeah, the Muslim vote, and because of this confusion, the turnout of the Muslim vote also was not up to the mark as it was in the previous elections, and that also helped the BJP. So this he explains it in this chapter, 4th chapter. And then we move to chapter 5. Yeah, failed mathematics of opposition alliances. Yeah, we all know that in the 2019 polls, before the 2019 polls, in Uttar Pradesh, Bahujan Samajwadi Party and Samajwadi Party came together, but it was such a disastrous alliance that it didn't serve any purpose, and they ended up cutting each other's votes. Their votes didn't transfer to each other, and it created a very horrible situation. The same happened in Karnataka also. That's what he has explained. Between JDS and Congress, the votes didn't transfer, and they were almost means wiped out from the Karnataka during the Lok Sabha 2019 polls. So this is the chapter, and then we come to chapter number 6. Egos of entitlement versus the guardians of public opinion. He says that what a big mistake Rahul Gandhi made when he started calling Prime Minister as Chokidar Chor hai, how it boomeranged on him. So this talks about that, and then he also mentions Odisha, how BJP did well in Odisha, what are the factors at play there. And then he comes up with the next chapter, chapter 7, limits of competitive hyper-socialism and the new Indian paradigm. Yeah, so socialism, he says in this chapter, he explains how socialism is dying a slow death in India. Means it is more or less dead, and he doesn't see any immediate revival of socialism in India. So this chapter throws light on that, and how Nyay hurt the Congress in 2019 elections. That Nyay scheme that Congress mentioned in their election manifesto, 2019 election manifesto, how that proved to be absolutely disastrous. Most of the voters had not even heard about that. Those who heard, they got angry because they thought that the target audience was the rural voter, but the rural voter was not even aware of the Nyay scheme. That's what Praveen Patil says. The voter who was aware was the urban voter, and the urban voter got angry that once again the Congress party will be giving some doles to the poor people, and we the taxpayers will have to pay for that. So that made the urban voter more angry, and that's why they जो कुछ लोगों ने वोट देना था वो भी उन्होंने भी नहीं दिया. So this chapter talks about that. I think, guys, it's a great book here. You must read it. So I highly recommend you must read this guy. But in order to understand the electoral politics of India, you should read Praveen Patil's this book, and you must follow him on Twitter. I have not met him. मैं कभी मिला नहीं हूँ इनसे. I don't know him personally, But whatever I have been following this guy for the last 6-7 years, and the kind of insight that he gives, uh, I have not seen any other pollster doing it. Trust me. And then he says the technological disruptions of political narrative constructs. In chapter 8 he talks about how BJP used the technology to its advantage, how Pradhan Mantri's, Prime Minister Modi's Mann Ki Baat programs were a huge success. They sent a message to the voter. How he directly connected with the voter rather than giving interviews or holding press conferences. सीधा अपने वोटर से बात की मिस्टर मोदी ने. And through WhatsApp, through Facebook, through social media, how BJP was able to just pass on their message to the last person, standing to the last person standing in the queue. So yeah, that's what this book mentions. Great book here. Political quantum of phase 5 means he talks about how with the passing of every phase of election, the momentum kept building, and how it eventually helped the BJP, the end game political calculus of India. Yeah, here also he talks about what exactly happened, why there was no opposition to Modi, how the BJP started the 2019 election. That's very interesting, with 14 crore votes already in its pocket. And how he does the math. He says that there were 10 crore BJP members in India even before the start of 2019 polls. Okay, and as per the BJP insiders, out of those 10 crores, 70% of those people were active. They were active in one way or the other. Okay, so 70% of 10 crore is how much? 7 crores. And then he says that even if one of those 7 crore voters, even if they convinced one more voter to vote for the BJP, 7 crores into 2, कितना हो गया? 14 crores. So that's why he says that even before 2019 Lok Sabha election began, even before the first vote was cast, BJP already had 14 crore votes in its pocket, and BJP eventually won, I think, 22 to 23 crore votes. Very interesting. Yes, guys, and he also says how Kumbh played a part. Kumbh played a part in many people voting for the BJP. If you guys remember that before the 2019 elections, Ardh Kumbh took place in Allahabad, Prayagraj, and the people who went to those in that Kumbh Mela, they said that the preparation there was one of the best they saw in any Kumbhs, and that also played a role in voters voting for the BJP. And then he talks about the AAPs, how AAP fell apart after promising so much. Yes. Phase by phase elections he has mentioned. He has covered Bengal in great detail. The realm of Modi 2.0. So he talks about what is the meaning of Modi 2.0. What all means what was the means. He says that after the sixth phase, it was absolutely certain that Modi is going to come back. Modi 2.0 was looking a sure shot possibility, and then he mentions various factors for that also. I am skipping something because otherwise video बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा भाई. Video will become very long, and yeah, so that's why मैं थोड़ा skip करूँगा, थोड़ा जल्दी बोलूँगा. I will be a little fast. And then he talks about the EVM, the last refuge of the defeated. Means जो भी लोग and everybody who lost the elections, they blamed the EVMs. Then he explains in great detail how the EVM is not hackable. It's a standalone machine here. और जो internet से connected ही नहीं है वो hack कैसे होगी? Modi 2.0 and the new history. All of that means how when the result day came, what happened. Yeah. Yes. And then he talks about, again in the chapter 11, again in this chapter he talks about liberalism. Is liberalism truly dying? क्या liberalism का क्या होने वाला है? क्या इसकी fate है? What is the economic expiry date of liberalism? He talks about that, and then he talks about the core anti-evolutionary flaws. impending technological peril, सब कुछ है. Anatomy of the liberal angst in the face of impending doom. He talks about क्या मतलब जब फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं ये लोग तो हारने के बाद they come up with various types of conspiracy theories. Yeah, and conspiracy से he he dedicates a full book, a full chapter on Congress, a conspiracy called Congress. He talks about means all the various conspiracies that have happened in Congress, all sorts of things, various murders, various deaths, and then how, then piecing together the anti-corruption movement. Then he again explains in great detail how the anti-corruption movement happened on 5th of April 2011 when Anna Hazare sat on a fast and changed the dynamics of India. So yes, so he talks about that, and then he talks about the Congress electoral machine of 2019 at den of conspiracies. पूरा बता रहे हैं कि कैसे this so-called Brahmastra called Priyanka Gandhi Vadra failed, and yes, that is very interesting. One very interesting thing I found: daylight data deception of Delhi Darbar. Means here he talks that all the few data analysts that Congress hired, they were giving wrong information to the Congress leadership. They kept on giving wrong information to the Congress leadership throughout the 2019 polls. Even one day before the polls, wrong information was fed. And after the polls, that guy, that data analyst, he ran away. Means he disappeared. Praveen Chakravarti. And one more, the social media head of the Congress, she also deleted her Twitter account. Devya Spananda, that's what her name was. And then he says that slow death of Congress is BJP's greatest asset. He explains it. And then is in the last chapter, chapter 13 is the future of Indian democracy, where he says that in coming years, in 2034 to be precise, he says that after every 15 years there happens a paradigm shift in Indian elections. He says that in 1989 the first time a disruption happened when first time the Congress lost power, means when Rajiv Gandhi having full majority, 400 plus seats he lost in the 1989 polls. And then after 15 years the next disruption happened in 2004 when the EVMs came and when Pramod Mahajan tried to fight an election using the technology. And then he says that after the next disruption happened in 2019 polls, where the data was so big, and he explains it in detail. And as per him, the next big disruption as far as the Indian elections, it will happen in 2034 polls. So that's what he has explained in this book, where he says that algorithms will be gaining control over the electoral choice. He mentions Cambridge and Analytica also. He mentions how Donald Trump's campaign was means it was taken care of by its people, how they use the data to reach to the voter. So that is also interesting. Means he in this chapter basically he is laying emphasis on कि भाई technology से the coming elections in India will be technology driven. Technology will play a very big role in deciding the winner and the loser. So whoever has the technological edge, he will win the elections in future in India. So that's what he is telling. Project Digital Booth Capture. So the Democratic Singularity 2034. So guys, yes. So with this we come to the end of reviewing this book. I found this book very interesting. It's a fascinating read. I am again saying I highly recommend you should read this book if you want to understand the electoral politics from a right wing perspective. एक right wing pollster किस तरह से elections को वो analyze, वो मीन्स किस तरह से वो वोटर्स का बिहेवियर को, वो पैटर्न को समझता है और इतनी करेक्ट प्रेडिक्शंस करता है. यू मस्ट ट्राई टू read this book, and it will give you fascinating insights. I highly recommend this book, and that's all I had to say. I hope you like my video, and if you liked my video, then please click on that like icon. Also subscribe to my channel, because I will keep on reviewing many books in days and months to come. So please do that, and I hope you had a good time watching this review. Thanks for your time, and see you once again with a new book. Bye bye.